That's accountability, leadership, empowerment, and deliverance, especially when it comes to universal access and human rights.
I love the theme for 2000.
Exactly.
AIDS, men make the difference.
Okay.
Yes.
They always refuse to wear the condom, those men. All right. And then we take a look at the red ribbon. And then they say is the global symbol for solidarity with HIV-positive people and those living with AIDS. And the red ribbon was created on the 14th of December, 2006. And for those people who wear that, you are not saying that you don't want to be infected by AIDS, but you are trying to sympathize with those people who have already been infected and are suffering from that terrible infection. Now, there's something that most of us forget, especially when it comes to some traditional rites, like they call it in the parts where I come from, country fashion. I think many people get infected through that. You know, they use one blade to cut. You know, there is an old father who comes, and then you see, they use one blade, the cuts here, they take the blade and cut the next person. And cut the
scarifications and things like that. And we come out with scars and a nice piece of AIDS.
Yes. And the people
HIV
can get
virus.
affected with the virus like that. So I think that those people who are practicing that, we are trying to tell you that it should be, if you have to do it, it should be one man, one blade.
All right.
All right. I take you to KOM just to inform you. I might be called a Conde, but my grandfather comes from this part of the country.
Now why?
All right, they say 15th century, the KOM people arrived the Babisi village from Opambam. That is the 15th century. Now in 1904...
18th century.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
18th
century. The KOM people arrived the Babisi village from Opambam. All right. And in 1904, Germans arrived KOM. The Germans arrived KOM. In 1905, Germans signed a treaty for peace with the KOM people after 6 months of German resistance. You know, when those people came, they wanted to take our place. And we said no.
KOM people were very stubborn.
Very stubborn. And 1913, they said the missionaries arrived there, called the Sacred Heart Fathers from Germany. They arrived KOM and built a school. That should be the Sacred Heart College. One of the finest we have as far as English education is concerned. In 1919, first Christian community installed in Wombong. And 1919, first KOM Catholic parish was founded. In 1926, Fon Ndi became Fon and decided to install peace and collaboration between Christianity and the population. Now, in 1926, Baptists arrived KOM, led by a young man from Wimbom village, and that's how the Baptist Church found itself in the KOM land. In 1935, missionary activities, mostly Catholics, increased in that part of the country, and that's why we have so many Catholics there today. In 1937, the lone Standard 6 school in the Northwest region opened in Mjinikom. That's where people like Joa graduated from.
Yeah, of course.
And in 1958, KOM women rioted and permitted Mr. Joa to emerge as a great politician from that part of the country. And in between 1965 and 1966, KOM had its own first Prime Minister in the person of
Mr. Joa.
Mr. Joa.
So you understand that when women riot, things happen.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, and talking about women, we're going to be talking about one special legal aspect of the KOM people. We call it matrilineal succession or matrilineal
Very important
heritage.
Because it's the women who inherit.
What I like about the KOM people is they tell you the women are the greatest.
Exactly.
Let's go find out about the legal slot, matrilineal succession. This concept all about matrilineal succession.
I think matrilineal succession simply means all KOM people believe that their rights and obligations are derived from their mothers, and that children born of the same womb share the same blood and therefore share the same rights and privileges. And therefore, sons are considered as the tail end of a lineage, and daughters are valuable because they are the only one who will continue to provide members of that lineage. And therefore, your right to succession, your right to property, your right to political and social offices are derived from your mother. So the Fon, who is ruling COM, he derives his right to be Fon from his mother.
Good. Now, I want to find out, is this concept, or is this law legal? And if it is, which courts in Cameroon do respect this concept or this law?
I think one has to, I'm not a legal expert as to what the Cameroon law will, but the COM law stipulates a couple of things. It does not just say you have a mother, and from that mother you derive your rights. But the person who is referred to as your father also have rights. And the COM law says that if you marry a woman because you want to father children, you must provide certain property rights because you have acquired the right to manage her fertility. But in terms of succession to offices, it is not your father.
Okay.
Therefore, the Cameroon legal system probably does not take much
of this into consideration. So what you're saying is once you are bound under the customary law of the COM people, therefore you have to respect this particular law of matrilineal heritage.
In a sense, yes.
Good.
Especially when it violates, if it violates human rights, then that is where even Kwifon can step in.
Good.
And this, where we are sitting, is then when there was a dispute with respect to the children that are born of that woman and born of this father, it is this Supreme Court, traditional Supreme Court, that will...
Now, I believe that this matrilineal succession law gives way for laziness.
No.
That is, I will sit back and say, because my uncle is wealthy, I'm going to take over him.
You can say
and then it might also give way. It might also give way for some people not to work hard, hoping that if I do work hard, one cousin or one niece or one nephew is going to come and take over my property. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to hang around with my wife and take care of my children, send them to the most expensive school, so that I won't leave anything for somebody to inherit. While others will just sit back and be lazy, opportunists, waiting for their uncles who is very rich to die, and they go and grab everything.
You can apply what you have said to sons of people in matrilineal societies. If you have a rich father, why should you struggle? Why can't you be lazy? There's an assumption that you have just made, is that in a patrilineal society, sons of rich people are not lazy. How could you arrive